This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman as we turn now to a peace caravan led by Mexican activists, which has kicked off a month-long cross-country journey across the United States to call for an end of the U.S.-backed drug war. The caravan will crisscross some 20 states to, quote, call for the change in the binational policies that have inflamed a 6-year drug war, super-empowered organized crime, corrupted Mexico's vulnerable democracy, claimed lives, and devastated human rights on both sides of the border. The caravan's organized by Mexican poet turned activist Javier Sicilia, whose 24-year-old son, Juan Francisco, was murdered by drug traffickers in Cuernavaca, Mexico. In his son's memory, Javier Sicilia created the Movement for Peace with Justice and Dignity to urge an end to the drug violence that has left an estimated 60,000 people dead, 10,000 disappeared, more than 160,000 Mexicans displaced from their homes over the past 6 years. Javier Sicilia led a similar caravan across Mexico last June. We are now going to join the peace caravan, which made its way from Los Angeles to today Phoenix, Arizona. Javier Sicilia is with us. Time magazine included his profile in its 2012 Person of the Year issue dedicated to protesters around the world. He's being interpreted by Jen Hofer. Javier Sicilia, welcome to Democracy Now! Why have you come to the United States to challenge the drug war here, come from your country in Mexico?
Desde tu país, México.
Porque en la guerra contra las drogas, declarada por el presidente Nixon y continuada por las siguientes administraciones, es responsable de la guerra que el presidente Calderón empezó contra el narcotráfico al inicio de su administración.
Narco-trafficking, drug trafficking, at the beginning of his administration.
Las drogas, creemos, no son asunto de seguridad
nacional. We believe that drugs are not a question of national security, but rather of public health.
Es una guerra basada en una tontería,
this is a
como
war
fue la prohibición
based
del alcohol.
On idiocy, the same as the prohibition against alcohol.
Además, las armas
in addition, North American weapons,
las armas de exterminio, están armando
weapons, very deadly weapons,
Mérida,
assault weapons,
legalmente,
through the Mérida Initiative, have armed the Mexican military as well as organized crime in Mexico. But it seems that a large part of the United States, the government of the United States of Barack Obama,
no se sienten responsables de esto.
They don't feel responsible for this situation.
Y nosotros venimos a decirles que hay una gran
we are coming to say that they actually are responsible.
Que detrás de sus adictos y de sus armas están nuestros muertos.
Their addicts here in the United States, their weapons, are our dead.
Y que tenemos que construir la paz juntos, cambiar
esta política de construct a peace together, change this policy of war into a policy of peace, a path, a route of peace.
What do you feel is the most important issue the United States should take on right now? You have said that it's from the United States that the drugs have come, the guns have come over the border into Mexico, and where the drug demand is. The issue of guns and the issue of the demand for drugs. Javier Sicilia.
Cuestión de la demanda de las drogas, Javier Sicilia.
Pues yo creo que son las dos cosas.
It's both of those things.
Más el lavado de dinero que no se ha atacado frontalmente.
Money laundering, which has really not been addressed directly at all.
Entonces creo que hay que no es una sola cosa, son tres cosas que van de la mano.
It's three things that go hand in hand.
Y que además ha provocado una criminalización más
this has provoked an incredible criminalization of African-American communities and also Latino communities.
So
it's important to take up these questions from our perspective together. But their foundation really has to do with the providing of drugs.
Y si uno ve la narrativa, uno
if we look
se
at
remonta a los
the
años
narrative
20,
trajectory, if we look starting in the 1920s with the prohibition of alcohol,
uno se va a dar cuenta de que
it's
lo
easy
que
to
produjo
realize
esa prohibición,
that what that prohibition produced
un aumento de criminalidad,
is an increase in criminality,
de mafias, de corrupción,
mafias,
de autoridades,
corruptions among authorities,
pésimo alcohol que dañó a muchísima gente.
terrible alcohol which damaged many people physically.
Es lo mismo que está pasando,
It's the
pero
same
ahora
thing that's
a nivel
happening now,
internacional,
but on an international level,
con la prohibición de las drogas, con la
with
guerra
the
contra las
prohibition
drogas.
of drugs, the war against drugs.
Esto a los únicos que beneficia
The only people who benefit from this war
son a los señores de la muerte,
are the lords of death,
a los señores de la guerra,
the lords of war,
a los señores del dinero
the lords of money,
y los negocios contraproductivos
the counterproductive businesses,
que lo único que hacen es dañar la
which
democracia,
the only thing that they achieve is to damage our democracy
sus libertades.
and our freedoms.
Finally, Javier Sicilia, you're making your way from Los Angeles. Today you're in Phoenix. You're moving on to Texas. Your journey where it is and your message for President Obama, you will end up in Washington, D.C. How many people are joining you along the way?
¿Cuántas personas se van a unir contigo en la trayectoria?
Pues esperemos que se unan
Well,
mucho
we hope that many people will join us.
y desde tu programa llamamos a la gente
And
que se vaya uniendo
From this
con
program,
nosotros.
we're calling on people to come together with us.
Si vamos a Washington, ojalá llegáramos muchos
We are going to Washington, and hopefully many people will come to Washington with us
para poner este tema como prioridad
in order to place these questions, these issues, as a priority
en la agenda política
on the
electoral.
political agenda.
Y yo le pediría también a la gente que se uniera.
I want to ask people to join us.
Pueden mandar un mensaje de paz. Hay
You
cosas que
can
el
send
presidente
a peace message via text. There are things that the President
Obama puede hacer
that
sin
President
pasar
Obama
por el
himself
Congreso
can do without
para
having
controlar
to go through
a los
Congress
mercaderes de la
in order
muerte
to control
que venden armas de
the merchants
asalto,
of death who
armas de
sell assault
exterminio
weapons,
ilegalmente,
deadly weapons that
a
are
los
sold
asesinos de México.
illegally to Mexican murderers.
Pueden mandar su mensaje de
People can
solidaridad
send a message of solidarity
al 2255
by sending a text to 225568.
y solidarizarse,
And
agregar su firma
in that way, adding their signature, their solidarity.
para llevársela al presidente Obama y decir que tiene
So we can take that message to President Obama
suficiente apoyo
and let
para
him
que
know
aplique esa
that we
capacidad
have the support among the people for him to be able
que
to
tiene
make a
como
change,
presidente de la
given his
República de
capacity
Estados Unidos, ¿no?
Javier
as President
Sicilia.
of the Republic of the United States.
I want to thank you so
Javier
much for being
Sicilia.
with us, poet, essayist, novelist, journalist in Mexico, now in Phoenix, traveling across the country in an anti-drug war caravan to Washington, D.C. That does it for our